Welcome back, everybody. So let's begin by talking about a couple of statistics, and this really outlines where we're at right now. Last year's national and provincial elections, only 18% of registered voters were aged 18 to 30 years old, with the youngest nominated candidate being an 18-year-old. The youngest nominated candidate, of course, as we mentioned, was there to participate in the elections. So, you know, there's definitely a big gap when it comes to the youth participation in the elections, and we want to find out why. And so it's wonderful to welcome my next two guests, who are two young ladies, and they are in their beautiful school uniforms, and representing their school so well. Olwetu Silingile, who is a learner at Pabalelo High School, and Sandra Leshabela, who is a learner at Millennium Combined School. So nice to have both of you, and welcome to the women's prison. Have you ever been here before? Is it your first time visiting, Sandra?
Yeah, it's my first time, and I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very significant place, and I imagine as the day carries on, you'll figure it out. What about you? Where have you been here?
It's amazing to be here, ma'am. I'm very honored to be here. It's such a huge privilege because not many kids get this opportunity, and I'm looking forward to the day, and I'm looking forward to what's going to happen. I'm very excited.
You're very excited. So how old are both of you, if I may ask?
I'm 17 years old.
Okay.
I'm 15, ma'am.
So you've obviously never voted yet, so next year would be, in the local government elections, perhaps the first time that you get to vote, Sandra?
Yeah.
Are you excited? How do you feel?
I'm very excited to vote, mainly because I believe in youth participation and I value youth participation. So I want to participate when I'm still young and active.
Yeah. And that's incredibly important. And I know a lot will change for you as you're 15 years old. You see the world in a different way. And then by the time you get to the elections, perhaps you'll have more of a vested interest in it right now. But when you look at the youth and your friends, at the ages of 15, are they interested in politics? Is that something that they even speak about?
We have some people who speak about politics, the youth that is very much invested in it and wants to participate more. And then on the other side, we also have students who are not really into that. So I would say there's a majority of children who are in politics and are interested and want to know better and want to participate in parliaments and further on.
Okay, so even at 15, you can see the young politicians coming through. From your side?
I feel like the youth is not interested at all. Because one of the most basic and prior needs of the youth are not being catered for, right? I feel like they don't have the trust and hope in the state or the leaders of the state. That's why they would rather leave it, than put their interest in something that at the end of the day they know that it won't work out for them. Yeah.
And it's very despondent to hear things like that, because you look around and unfortunately you do see a lot of people, particularly the youngsters, finishing school and then rushing to go to varsity and then no job prospects, and that is where the problem comes in. So in terms of, let's talk about this. I mean, does that worry you, the prospect of finishing school, getting out there, thinking you're going to get into the workforce, and then there's nothing out there for you? How do you feel about that?
Honestly, ma'am, after school, we can't predict it. We don't know what's going to happen next. But we are hoping for job opportunities. We're hoping that the Republic of South Africa gets better and the youth can get in the job industry and get more jobs.
And for you?
As a young person, as a young lady, I fear so much. Because you finish school with the intent of wanting to become someone that is successful, someone that is going to take the industries heads on. But considering that there are not many job opportunities in this country, it really frightens me. So I'm thinking that, the leadership of this country should really take it into consideration in terms of creating industries, and valuing certain programs that are going to lead into the creation of employment in the Republic of South Africa.
Yeah.
For example, we need to really be strengthened and tightened in the agricultural sector of South Africa, because that's where our strong point is. So we need skills, we need practical skills. We don't need your everyday teaching and learning in class where you just learn and go home. We need practical skills. We need whatever that we learn to be practical. We need to see it visible so that we can carry those skills in the future.
Yeah. And that you're touching on very, very important issues. And for you as well?
I was also going to say that, ma'am, not a lot of kids a lot of learners out here are academically wise. Most of them want to work with their hands, they want to work physically. For instance, in other countries, children are advanced. You could get children in grade 10 who know how to build mobile phones, and then in South Africa, they don't know how to do that. So I think we also need to intensify our education and make it a little bit more advanced, and it has to be practical more. Practical has to be included more in schools.
Yeah.
Just to finish up on that, I feel like the countries from the West should stop valuing South Africa as a charity case. We are not a charity case. They should see us as competitive, as them. Because you find that a child in China is learning how to build a car from scratch. Yeah. And actually right now, even our mothers, they're buying those cars. You get your Jetor, you get your Omoda. We also want them in their country to buy cars that are from South Africa. So hence why I'm saying that instead of focusing on all the other things, let's focus on the development. Let's exchange programs, international. Let's exchange programs. The teaching and learning that is in South Africa is not even the basics that the leaders fought for. We need more than that. We need independent youth that is going to take industries by storm, and we can do that with the ordinary teaching and learning.
Yeah. I mean, I'm loving the energy that both of you are bringing into this conversation, because it's important. This is the way we want you to think, because I think the generations where we are right now, what's the biggest mistake we're making? I mean, it's an older generation, you're a younger generation, you're much more energetic. What do you want to tell the older folk right now that are in power? Where are they going wrong for you?
Value the youth, value the youth. You must hear the youth out, hear what the youth want, because at the end of the day, we are going to be the leaders of this country. I feel like valuing the youth, hearing them out, going to the ground. Like I always say that you won't find the youth in those modern places, parliament or whatever. If the leaders of this country really want to make an impact in the Republic of South Africa, they need to go to the ground where problems are, where concerns are, and hear those concerns. They need to take everything effective, not just words. We need to put action into those words. The promises that they're making to the people of the Republic of South Africa, they need to put action into that. Like the preamble of South Africa says, we recognize the injustices of our past. We recognize those injustices to free, everyone who suffered from those injustices. But right now, it's like we're putting on a more burden on those injustices. We feel like we've taken just one step out of the apartheid regime. And I feel like the leaders of this country should take accountability, in terms of servicing the youth, because they're not being serviced enough, and learners, of course.
Well done. Do you want to leave us with one closing remark?
I was just wanting to refer to what you said.
Yeah.
The youth have brilliant minds, and they are the leaders of tomorrow, of the future. They need to intensify listening to us, and like the president said right here, we will not find them in modern places, we will find them in the streets. There are multiple children who are out in the streets starving, and they have brilliant minds. They have minds to be in parliament and take part of decision making.
Look at these young, beautiful women. This is the upcoming generation that we can look forward to, and I thank you. Thank you for your bravery. Thank you for talking to us here on the program. This was Olwetu Silingile. She's from Pabalelo High School, and Sandra Leshabela, learner at Millennium Combined School. Thank you so much to both of you, and enjoy the day.
Thank you.
Enjoy the information and participate. Speak to the older ladies and women and tell them what you want, okay? Yes. All right. As I let them go and we link to a break, I also want to introduce this insert that we've got, where we take a look at the women within the IEC and the work that they do.
To make a difference in the longer term, it is essential that young women are engaged in formal political processes and have a say in formulating today's and tomorrow's politics. So taking the first step of registering to vote and making your mark could ensure a better tomorrow. Remember, ladies, our voices matter and are heard.